I swear, I don't even know, like, I feel kind of like I don't even know really what I'm gonna talk about. And, I've been up. It's weird because I was up. That's weird how that's moving. It looks like an earring. I swear to God, everything just looks weird. I swear to God, I feel like I am, walking around on a greeting card or something. I swear to God, this is or like everything feels so artificial. I don't even know. Like I feel so aware that I'm not really here. It's the weirdest thing. But so anyways, I've been up for a long time, and it was a weird night. All freaking through the night. It was like just this awareness, like I'm sitting there talking and stuff, but I'm letting my body rest or something. But then it feels, I swear to God, even at 1:30, like when I wake up, and then it's like, because it was yesterday too, and I'm just laying there like, man, it must be morning. Like, this is weird. And then it's still the middle of the night, but it seems like it's been so freaking long. And I just gave Stella her, well, I did both of ours, and I'm doing it in yogurt. Well, hers, I've been just doing the pinch on her food, but I haven't fed her yet because it's not even 5 o'clock in the morning yet. And so I did it on the yogurt, but just do a pinch on the yogurt. I just put like a spoonful of yogurt, and then I put a pinch on it, and I just take it. And I mean, it's a pinch. I don't know why it is that some people think you like have to drink it, but that was taking me too long to put a pinch in my water, and then have to drink that one and then start with the next one. I was like, I'd rather just do it all at once. But so Stella, it seems like, I mean, she's definitely being super stiff at night. Like laying for a long time, she gets really stiff. And, just like, I mean, I relate. And, but when she's feeling better, a lot of times she'll just run around more. And so then that will make her more uncomfortable. So we kind of are in that kind of thing, I think. But so today would be like day 4, I think. And it's supposed to be day 11 is when it really gets to be the optimal. But it can be, I guess, in like severe ones, I think it can take like 30 days. So I'm not going to give up. Even if by 2 weeks, if she's still like super, I'm going to just keep doing it and doing it. I've seen so much stuff come up. Like, this is the treatment for arthritis and a lot of other inflammation disorders or something that's boron. And so everything with the minerals and the vitamins and stuff, like, we're just so lied to. And then this morning, as I was looking on the FYP, because yesterday was I didn't even do any videos yesterday on there. I did my one on here, but everybody was just talking about Tucker, and Dawn. And it's so funny when you watch the two sides. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it is like, and I know that is like why it happened at the same time. It's like, when are you all going to start noticing? You can't sit there and just say this other person is all propaganda. At least there was a lot, like I saw where like Murdoch, who owns Fox, is also a part of BlackRock and Vanderbilt, whatever, the fucking, the controllers. And they, it is whole Dominion lawsuit thing or something, but really it's just their same thing that they always do. It's just this circle jerk of pretend. It's just this moving money. The lawsuit is like suing themselves and paying themselves. It doesn't make any sense. And then, Rice, she's going to be just exposed as shit. I can't even believe all the criminal stuff about that chick. Like, she's, but they had to find these really rotten ones, like Joe's family being so horrible is going to expose so much about the crime syndicate that, became our government. And same with this one. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's like Nancy. the inside trading stuff, that these people are just so corrupt. And then, of course, when they're invested, they're going to make sure that that company is getting what it needs. It's like, so all of that, corporate interference, I'll scratch my back, you scratch mine, I'll scratch yours, you scratch mine. And, until they get a hammer out. These people are just wacky. But, and also, now The Rock, he's going down. A whole group of them, now they're being exposed. And this was, it seems like earlier in his career. I don't know, was kidnapping wrestlers or something? I'm not even sure, but there's a lawsuit going, and they're going to be in trouble. All this stuff is going to keep coming up and keep being, and another person exposed, another person exposed. I just saw this video of this guy doing all of these lookalikes in Hollywood. It's weird. It's just 100% weird. Like, you cannot say that they are not using some sort of fucking genes. Like, there is something there's something that is going on. And I besides, I talked about that before, how I think that it is very purposeful. Like, it's not by accident that these people who end up looking exactly like somebody, and they stay in this very controlled environment and stuff. And that's not to say that, we don't go out in society and we all have lookalikes and stuff. I just saw this guy. It was a fella, and he, super tall and skinny, and I couldn't believe how much he looked like my granddaughter. And this guy was kind of he plays up this, he is very feminine. He's very, I don't know, very 70s androgynous rocker, sexy guy, wearing the low pants and, just that is kind of skinny looking, and his long curly hair. And I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe how much he looks like my granddaughter. That is so weird. And he had, the one I saw, he was talking about, he was about to go into a model agency interview. And he was super, super nervous. And people are always, so I went in to look at his stuff to see, like, is this, what does he look like normally? And in a lot of his videos, he wore like makeup, and very, very good looking guy. And but in one of the videos, he was saying something about good looking people having mental problems. Like, somebody had said something like that to him. And he said, yeah, he said, most of the people I know who are good looking struggle the most. And I think that is really true, because look at all the pressure people put on you. Like, well, you shouldn't have any problems. You're so good looking. Life should be easy. But people don't realize, like, every single life experience has its challenges. There's not one that is just like, oh, that one's easy. Oh, you got that? Oh, that one's easy. Like, that's no, it's not easy. Every single life experience comes with some sort of challenges, and all the challenges lead back to you having to, what is that word? It's like, put yourself on a pedestal and, take care of yourself. Not be like ego maniac, I'm better than you pedestal, but to value yourself and to know that you are important and have value. And man, on my this FYP page, I swear to God, it's just constantly changing all the time. I don't even understand. There was most of the videos I just was going past. There was just, it seems so, it's just, I don't know, it's like the same thing over and over and over. And so, but I am getting tons and tons of, or I don't know if it was just at this time, but I have tons of lives. That's probably what it is It's probably because it's daytime in some of these places. So I have lives of all these different countries. And it's like, oh, man, I just really want to move. I want to go and start experiencing and traveling. I want to go back to Portugal. Like, I don't know where I want to, for sure end up. Like, I don't know. But I want to go and travel. Like, I just see this stuff. Even watching them walking, because a lot of these people who do these lives are just walking around in their cities and stuff. And Tokyo, God, Tokyo looks really cool. Barcelona, I've been to Barcelona, and I like Barcelona, but it is crowded. But I just like, what I like is how the walking around everywhere, people out walking, the food, people out eating on sidewalk, cafes everywhere. It's the lifestyle. That is, to me, is what we're missing in America. Our lifestyle is it's so toxic, and it's so much like people, like if they need it, or they want it, or they appreciate it, or they're like, think they're better than other people because of certain things that are in America or something, but it makes things worse. It doesn't make things better, and it makes people more soft and weak and dependent, and instead of making them more independent and stronger and stuff. So, I don't know. Just like yesterday, the marketplace in Greece. Today, I was like in Barcelona. There was some that I didn't even understand. I didn't even know what language they were speaking. But just seeing all these different countries and all the stuff going on. And then, you go here and you've got fucking people looting and fighting. And it's just so much disrespect and disconnection, and where people just don't really care about, I don't know. I don't really understand what goes on in people's minds. And, it is in other countries too. Other countries are exploiting their kids on social media. It's just like, there's like so much that has to change for humans to start seeing, like, they have to see something deeper. That's the only way I know how to explain it, is to see something deeper. This was kind of cool. This was, I think, the first video I saw this morning, which gave me hopes, but that was, I swear to God, I've been sitting there looking and looking. What is it? Almost 5 for hours. It was just like, oh my gosh. So there's like some storms, and there's, just the same fucking, just weird stuff. People with their weird dating things, weird sexual encounters, just horrible dog rescue things. And the thing that really gets me on the dog rescues is, I heard this, I don't know, I was watching Dodo, probably since 2020. I swear to God, life changed in 2020 for everybody, no matter what, or no matter how much people try and hold on to what was there. But it seems like I was watching a lot of Dodo. I don't know when, but I know at some point I watched a lot of those Dodo videos. And then I heard, don't support those rescue videos, because a lot of people in those other countries, they try and get videos to go popular or viral or whatever, so they create these horrible things. So they go get these dogs, create them, like throw them out in a lake, and then go out and rescue them. This one was horrendous, was walking down a side of a road, and there's just garbage piled everywhere. And as the people were walking, they came up, and one of the piles of garbage was moving around and crying, and they opened it, but it took a long time to open it. And when they opened it, it could have been a fucking baby, and they're just like, oh, well, what do you... But you can't understand what they're saying. A lot of it is just like, seems like they're just looking at each other or something, and then just grunting. I was like, is this fucking set up? Are you motherfuckers doing this? And this little dog, a small little dog, was tied in a bag. And it is, somebody, they do the whole rescue thing. Somebody asked for an update and stuff. And oh my God, this dog had so many problems. Like, and yeah, I know as a nurse, there's like lack of oxygen. So it's like having these like seizure things and stuff. And they kept trying to feed it and everything. And it ended up getting better, but it's scared to death of people. It just hides all the time. And so it's always trying to hide. And it's really tiny too. I saw another person the other day, and they found one too. Like, there's so many of these. Like, fuck, so many people just don't. God damn, people don't take any responsibility for themselves, for their dog, for nothing. I don't understand what is wrong with people. I don't see how they don't see. And so, I mean, I as somebody who sees, I mean, I don't think you could find anybody who is a seer who would say that what is going to go down isn't necessary. Like, it's 100% necessary. It is like, okay, so the thing that they're showing me, because it was like somebody climbing up, so it was like Truman climbing up, and he's trying to go over to see what's at the top. And then he's going up the rocks, and his dad hollers at him, you got to get back down here, because they don't want him to see, which I don't even understand how he would see, because it was further out. Like, you had to go way out in the water to see the fate. So I don't know, maybe it was a set or some stage hands or something on the other side of the rocks, but whatever. Anyways, it's like going up and climbing to the top of the rocks, and then I've completely got lost on my anyways, though, there's something that is like, you have to get up there so you can see. You have to get knocked down. Like, they've got to see the truth. And they've got to, get knocked down and start realizing and living differently. Like, it's so, and one thing is too, is like, people don't realize, like, you are putting out bad karma. Like, you're putting things out of balance for yourself. So, okay, let me tell this guy's story, because this was really cool. So this guy was sitting on his couch, and he had just had knee surgery, and he's up and, has his leg up. You can't get up for weeks. But so he's sitting there, and he said that he thinks he died when he got his surgery because of this weird experience that happened. And so he starts telling about the experience. And he said that he went to this other place, and he said every place that looked so similar, like Earth, only he said it was just way more beautiful, way more just really, really nice, sparkly, beautiful colors and stuff. They said everybody loved everybody. He said there was just so much love. There was nothing about hate. And he said that when people would communicate, it was all by telepathy. And he said that there was never any never any, where people like don't understand what somebody means or whatever. Because he was saying, because words are so manipulated and they don't work for communicating. It causes more interference. But so when you're having telepathy, he said that you just understand, because you can automatically read somebody's intention. You know how they feel, just know what they mean. And so he said that was really cool. And he was going around, he said somebody was with him, but he didn't know who it was, but they were with him, like a guide taking him around. And he was going around and seeing the place and stuff like that. And he said that everybody just loved everybody and felt connected. He said it just felt so good there. He said, like, you can't even believe how good it felt. And then he was going down to lower. And so he said he went down to lower, and he said it was just the same. He said it was like Earth again. He said it looked so similar to Earth. He said, but it wasn't as messy as the Earth, but it was more messy than the upper part. He said the upper part was like pristine, like gorgeous. And the lower part was more like being on Earth, but he said it wasn't horrible or something. It wasn't gross or anything, but it was more like being on Earth. But everybody was happy. He said nobody was mean, nobody was mad, nobody was unhappy. Everybody was just happy and content. And he said that all the people in that vibration, I'm going to say vibration, he didn't say vibration, but all the people in that vibration it wasn't like it was competitive, like, oh, those people up there in the higher vibration. It wasn't like that at all. It was just like, this is their vibration, and those are those people's vibration. It was just like you are at peace with your vibration. He said, like, a couple of the takeaways. He said one of the things is that people worry way too much. He said that one of the things that was a big thing was like, there's no reason to worry and to stress out. He said life is so short. He said that was the thing that really stood out while he was there. It's like we come down here and it's like a split second and we're stressed the whole time. He said there's like all these people going around just anxiety and depressed. And he goes, and it's seriously like a split second that you're here. And so when you're on the other side, then people are all just like, don't waste your time. There's no reason to be. That's why I've talked about so much about this learning to have this respect for life and appreciating it. And that is what is interfered with so much. And so people don't really have that ability so much. But so he was talking about, using your time wisely and to appreciate the time you have and appreciate the time you have with each being that you're with. I just added that part in. He didn't say that part. But, with all of the people, like, even though people, this is one thing that I have seen, even though, like, people will be like, oh, I hate my mother. My mother sucks. She's the worst person in the whole wide world. Fuck her. And then, years go on. Oh, I'm not talking to that stupid bitch. Fuck her. And years go on. Fuck her. I don't give a fuck about her. And all of a sudden, the mom dies. Or the dad. I mean, you see it all the time. Anybody who's grown up and been around somebody like that. And then all of a sudden the people are devastated because they could never work it out. It's done. It's complete. And people don't realize like how much they're holding on and packing away until all of a sudden that object's gone. And then it's just released and it's like, oh shit. Like, I didn't ever say this. I didn't ever say that. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And believe you me, there's going to be stuff that's going to come back on you. It's not going to just be like that person failed you. No, you're going to probably more just see yourself as really rotten. That's why, to me, it is always be thinking about that. But you can't get people to understand that, to like think ahead. Like, well, if you don't do this or that, you're going to end up feeling bad about it later. I even told that to somebody, and her dad was dying, and my dad had just died. My dad, was alcoholic, pedophile, selfish, narcissist, whatever, all of those things. That was the role he came into play. And he, so when he, man, what was I just going to say? Oh, yeah. So when I had already forgiven him, like, I've started on that whole thing a long, long time before that. Like, I don't know, I was like 30 and I wrote him one of those letters, so I had already been working on that for a long time. And he had gone into the hospital and was expected not to come out several times, especially when he was like, living like a homeless drug addict and was living in crack houses. And I don't even know what all went on with him. But he ended up in the hospital a few times. The shit beat out of him, and it just all of a sudden reminded me of back when I was younger, and he got this shit beat out of him. And that one was his best friend. And so it was his best friend was Dan, and my mom, so automatically her best friend is Sandy. And so Dan and Sandy, and also I had to babysit for them all the time. I think I've told other stories about them, but my dad, there's not a woman or a child, I don't think, I mean, for all I know, he was hitting on men too. I mean, I think maybe he was a sex addict, I don't know. But him and Dan, they were always out drinking. They were always out at the bars and always with girls and stuff like that. And they came home, and I think Dan went to bed or something. I'm not even sure what the whole thing was, but my dad did something to his wife. And I don't know if he tried to do something or who knows. But Dan went and got a log, apparently, or maybe he got a bat. I'm not sure. But he started beating my dad. My dad's on his couch, I think, sleeping, and started beating him with that. All I knew is that my dad had to go to the hospital. He had a broken arm. He had his face, broken bones in his face and stuff like that. And all I had heard was that Dan, he had done something to Sandy, and Dan beat him with a log. So my dad had been in, who knows? I think my dad was drunk and just all the time, just doing dumbass shit. So it doesn't surprise me at all that in his last years, he was getting the shit beat out of him. And he was a big guy. I mean, he wasn't like some small guy or something. He was really big. But he was drunk all the time. And I think he probably, back in his sober days, if he ever had any, I'm sure he could fight. I'm sure he probably got in fights all the time. He probably was like, because my last husband, who was a real in his drunkenness, even that was his parting words to me: I choose alcohol over you. Good luck. So, the alcohol is, for my dad, that was like nothing else. He just always went back to alcohol, and it made him, but with the last husband, that's what I was going to say, is that he would constantly get drunk and try and get in fights all the time. Like, he would try and get in fights. And before he was together with me, I guess that was like his thing. He would go out to bars, get drunk, and then get in brawls or something. Like, he was beaten as a child. And so I don't know. I mean, you don't know how people's minds work. Like, why they go out and like try and, do they want to get in fights to see if they can protect themselves now? Do they want to get in fights because they don't think they deserve any better? Do they want to get in fights just because they just have developed a pattern and they don't know how to stop when they see danger coming? Like, I don't know. It's hard to know what's going on inside of anybody. But, for my dad, when he did die, because I went and saw him and stuff. I was trying to think, because they said he was going to die, and then he had liver cancer, because he had already been in liver failure. He had no liver. This went on and on for so long, and he kept drinking and drinking, never stopped. So it was when he got to the liver cancer, and they said he was going to die, and he was yellow. And I know I went and saw him, and then I went back home, and he was still doing appointments and stuff, and then he died a few weeks later. And but he was already on his deathbed, because I had called and I had the kids and everything on the phone. I did one of those things, but he was already so out of it. He was already going into the other side. And that was when my stepmom started telling me stuff about what my future was going to be, because he saw it. And when I was told, it was just one of those things like, just confusing. Like so many things had to still play out. Like that's why I say there's so many things like you can know or understand, but you don't really know or understand until it's the right time. And so, and I'm still waiting to see how this all plays out. It's like, man, sometimes I'm just like, I can't even believe how long some of this stuff takes to play out. For me, like I see other people like go do things and it's like right away they're getting it back, and it's like, so I don't know. But anyways, when my dad died, I had an opportunity to talk and heal, and a big thing to me was just to make sure he knew I forgave him, and so I had said, I forgive you, because I just don't want somebody to pass over and feeling like, and then that was a big thing, man, when the medium came. But I wanted to finish because the one girl who I was working with, whose dad was an alcoholic biker and relationship, and then this was like a year or so after my dad died, and hers was dying. And I was saying, you should go talk to him. You should go say something. Oh, I've got nothing to say and stuff like that. Like, you really should do it. And, you got to like tie up loose ends. You got to close the doors and, in the chapter or whatever. No. And then, right after he died, then it was like, oh my God, can't believe I didn't. Oh my God. I always tell people you definitely should. And but when the medium had talked to my dad, and I've talked about this so many times, but that she said that was one of his big things, is when he was over in the dark part, he was in the, I don't know what else to call it, but purgatory, like it's like a holding space until you get your shit together, because you can't take your toxic energy just into so he was in that. But when she was talking to him, that was like his big thing, is like, nobody forgives me and stuff like that. He was very upset and angry about it. And so, but I had forgiven him. He did recognize that I had forgiven him. But when you're over on the other side, see, you can see what's in people's hearts. You can see what's in, and the only thing I can think about is, when you come in and you're playing the bad guy, and you get over to the other side, and it's like, all these people don't remember that, we all love each other. They think I'm this bad person, and that's how they're looking at me. I think it's like a painful thing. So I just think, that's one thing that people really got to recognize. Like, like if you were going in, if you were, you and your best friends in the whole wide world, or your family, or whoever, were, a band of theater people, and you just went around from town to town doing plays, and every time you all switched roles, you all played the different roles. It is no different than that. Like when you come in and incarnate, you're just switching out and playing different roles for each other. And so then, but people here just get so caught up. And I just know it has something to do with just the lies and manipulation. Because that was one thing where I'm seeing like these people who are coming and talking about their NDEs. You keep saying there's no death. Death isn't real. And yeah, death isn't real. And what was the other thing too? Because it was something about the energy, and I have like a few things like it's like a Dolores Cannon, something that she was saying, and something here, like there's sometimes it's like too many things I can't decipher between them. It's like a convergence of all this stuff. All of a sudden it's like boom, and it's like, wait, what's that? Okay. So one of the things that guy was saying too is that people who are in the lower vibration are content. They're not sitting there going like, oh, I just got to get up there, the higher vibration, those fuckers. It's not like that. Because this is how I take it from what I see, from what I'm shown, is like you're incarnating, and it's hard, and then there's some, like when you incarnate, like even when you go to the other side, that is, you can stay in that space, what people think of as being heaven. You can stay there. You don't have to go and incarnate. I think the incarnating is what is like, it's like reading all the books in the library. It is like it gives you more information. The more information you know, the more it elevates you. So that is the thing. It's like, I think that the people who are in the lower vibration part, which is still way higher than here. I mean, everything's about love. There's no hate. That they realize, like, the people who are in the higher vibration have worked hard to get there. They've gone through some stuff. When you're on the other side, I think that you have awareness of, the challenges to learn and expand yourself as a consciousness. And what was that other one too? Is there was I swear there was another? Oh yeah, that there was this woman, and she went to the hospital the other day, and she seemed like she was kind of out of it or something. I don't remember what she was having, but she said that they put her on an area that she thought was very strange. It didn't make any sense why they were putting her there. Like, if it was, she had an infection and then they put her on the heart monitor one or something. I don't know. But she was saying it was weird because it didn't make sense to her where they put her. And she felt weird and she felt uncomfortable. And so then she just laid there and started trying to go to sleep. But every time she would do that, there was like a party in her room. And she said, so what she said, it seemed to her was that, so you have this space that you can go. This is what I was talking about the other day too, because I think that there's this one space where the men in black monitor it, and it's like the space that our consciousness can go directly out from. But then there's this other space, and I've seen this, I think a few different guys talking about this or something, but it's something about the celestial, terrestrial, and there's something about these levels in our mind. And so it's kind of like the micro macro. And so the it is this, it's like the space that you can go out to first. And so she said it was like going into this one space, but then there was another space you could go. But in this one space, that there was just, she said it was weird. It was like this whole party. She said it was just like so many people, and they were all just gathering around. And she said it was weird because people were talking to her and introducing themselves. But she said it was weird because she said it was like when you go to a party and you go with somebody, but you don't know anybody at the party. And she said, and so all these people keep coming up to her and talking to her and stuff. And she's, she's, just, I think that she was calling the nurse and saying, something about it. But I know as a nurse, like, that's like a regular thing in the hospital. Like, there's certain rooms that you would know, oh, you got someone in that room, and especially if they have any kind of thing where they're going in and out of consciousness, they will always see the other beings around. And so it would be like, or it'd be certain rooms you'd be like, oh man, is this room just super haunted? Like, is it a portal? Like, I don't know. Because there would be rooms where the people would be like, can you get all these kids out of here? It'd be like, there's no kids in here. It's not even a kid floor. Like, the kids have a completely different part of the hospital. And, but they would be like, stop lying to me. There's kids in here and I see them and stuff. So, the people can see the stuff. That is one thing too, is like when my stepmom told me when my dad was going and when he had said stuff about me, is, he was there. He could see it. And that is the thing that is cool, is like what I talk about is when you go out. So when we're here and when we're in the experience, we're in the now moment, we're in this part. And so we're at this, like, one thing that they always are showing me, because a lot of times, I'll be like, when is this going to go down? Like, when is something going to happen in my, like, I feel like I'm just chomping at the bit. And they're always telling me now, it's now, it's now. I'm like, now? I don't get it. What do you mean now? Because now should be now. And they're like, it's already in motion. It's already started. And they show me this a lot. Like when you go and you look at a map, and this is everything that's going on right now. And so when you go and you look at a map, and there's like the little red pin thing. And so you look at it, but then you pull it at closer and closer and closer, and you can get it more down to the very detail, right? And so that is kind of like what they show me. It's like you're in the part where the red pin is. You're in that. And just because you go up closer and you have to go through each block, that doesn't mean you're not in the now time. So it's like where people keep talking about like timelines and stuff like that. And to me, the timeline, has to do with, are you on a timeline that you are doing your best because you love yourself and you know what you deserve? Are you on a timeline where you're learning to love yourself? That's the two timelines as far as I'm concerned. And it can switch at any point. And when it switches, it was always going to switch. And so the thing like that they show me is like it's happening. It's like it's already happening. It's going, but it is like all of the little details, like the little dominoes that fall. Each domino has to hit the other domino to get to the certain domino. And so it is like we're in that. And like when that guy is talking about his near-death thing, and he was saying how he was saying about the time, and that was like so quick. He said that was the one thing that was really standing out to him. It's like it's so fast, and how much of it is wasted over worry and stuff like that. And that to me is like learning to be mindful and be in your time, because the time is over quick. And then you have that wish I would have done more. I wish I would have done this. Instead of being present and doing it, it is always looking ahead. Like so many people in their life, they're always looking ahead. Like, I'll start living once I get to being successful. Once I get this done, or once I get that done, then I can start living my life. And so everything gets put on hold until they meet this criteria or something. So that is a structure that is created by the 3D. So see right there, you've already wasted all that time. But it's not like a waste of time, because that would actually be the thing that you came in to learn, was about that stuff. So you would go to the other side and then you would go over that. But it seems to me that there is such an important factor to time and appreciating it and using it to your best, and not having regret that you wasted it. I think there's so much about regret and wasting your time. Like when somebody dies, you regret you didn't say this, you didn't go there, you didn't do that, you didn't give them enough time. We live so much in regret, so much in shame. Like, I just saw this girl, she was telling her testimony. It was like one after another, I'm telling you. And hers was married to a narcissist, of course. And all the abusive stuff, because toxic people, men or women, because then right after that, I saw another one where it was a guy who had stepped up, and the house he was showing was beautiful. I mean, and everything was so organized and clean. I mean, he's in the garage, and she is in the house, and she's packing her things, and her little tiny child is walking around, doesn't know what's going on. And the guy is in the garage filming, showing all her stuff getting thrown in the garage, shows the little baby back there, doesn't know anything that's going on. And just by circumstance, you see the garage and how it's so organized, and I mean, it's not at all like a dumpy place or something. And they've been married 9 months, and she's just cheating on him and leaving him. And he, had married her, taken on this baby, loved this baby, was, this whole thing. And So the toxic goes on both sides. Like there's all these women who want to sit and talk about the narcissistic men, and all the guys who won't talk about the toxic women, but it's just the toxic characteristics that people display until they're healed. And that you're actually in that is a relationship where you're on that timeline to learn about yourself. And sometimes you learn a lot about yourself when you treat somebody like shit, and you have to face that you're, a shitty person. And if you don't face it then, and you will keep on going worse and worse and worse until you eventually face it. Because everything is about, having to see the truth, having to face who you are, and you can't hide from it. No matter how much, that has become what people just do, is just trying to hide from themselves. It's like, I'm going to hide from myself until I die. What do you think is going to happen when you die? And that's the whole thing, is like, people think like death relieves them. No, death is just an extension. It's just like, it is no different than me getting up from this chair and walking into the bedroom and sitting on that couch, on the bed. It is the same fucking thing. You are just going into another room. You're just putting on another reality. But you are the same. So even after you pass over, you're the same. You're held responsible for your choices. And it isn't, there is an energetic balance, like I've talked about, that is universal, that you as a soul take responsibility for putting out of, when you put things out of balance. But it is, it's like this, it's an automatic thing. The soul, if you put something out of balance, automatically is your balance to put back in balance. That's like the karmic debt. So anything that you put out of balance, you have to put back in balance. So that isn't God punishing you or anything. It's just the way it works. It's just how it is. And, it's the more that you can do that in life and realize, then the more balanced your life can become. It's like becoming mindful, taking responsibility, empowering yourself to, all of those things is like the same kind of thing. And so it's taking responsibility for the energy you're putting out to the people. Then when you pass over, then you get to see that, like, oh, wow, that really made a difference of, me not carrying all this toxic stuff into my death, and then having to take it into another life and go into that life, try and gather up these people. Let's go do this again. It isn't that, you see how many people are, for all we know, it's 3 people who have incarnated and they're playing all the roles. Who knows? But I would say it's a lot of people. And so it's something that we just do. It's not a punishment. It's not something, horrible. Like I said, to me, it is like, you are eternal. What are you going to do for eternity if you're not like going on little vacations and going into experiences and stuff? Like, I don't understand why people think reincarnation is so weird or so creepy or any of that kind of stuff. It seems like basic to me. It just seems like, well, what else are you going to do? Besides go in and, well, what would I be if I was like this? What would it be like to be there? What would it be like to live in this time? What would it be like to live in this time? What would I have done if I was at this place? Like, it's just like that. It isn't, but anyways, so in this, the now moment, even if it seems like I've said, I think I've talked about this before, because to the watchers, the ones watching with the further away perspective, things become more clear because they can see more. But see, that is how we get so burdened, because we need to step back and see more. We need to have a broader perspective so that we're not too caught up in the experience, and so that we can enjoy the experience. Literally, if you can release all of the trauma and stuff, then you can enjoy the experience of being here and spending time with people, and that is like on the other side, when you are in that other state of being, even if you're in a place that looks like earth and stuff, the reason you come into these low vibration is to feel. So you can be up there, but you can't feel. Like, you could know what it feels like, but you can't feel that feeling. Like an orgasm, to me is, so you can't, it wouldn't be the same as having that here, because you can feel so many different feelings and stuff. Eating, sleep, all of the things that you get to experience through feeling. So those things are not things that you would do up there. Like, I've heard, people sit and eat and go have a beer and stuff, but it's not the same. Like, if you're up there and you go sit, at a sidewalk cafe and have a beer with a friend, it isn't like you're going to get drunk or something. So then you come down here, then because you want to feel, what does it feel like? And so then you come down here, but then you also have these spirits who also want to see what it feels like, who want to jump on board while you're doing it, because they're kind of more stuck in low vibration. They haven't raised their vibration to pull free out of this low vibration, because you have to grow and expand to raise your vibration, to become conscious of yourself. All of it is an expansion of energy. And so, like I've said, there's like tons and tons of just free energy that's just out there. It's just, has no, like we are an energy that is multifaceted. We're an energy that is trying to understand itself. So we're like another level. And then you have energy that is just out there feeling and just experiencing and stuff. So to go into the other level of consciousness to experience, like, you couldn't just take free energy and just stick it in a body. And, I see all these little babies and stuff being born, and lots of people sharing footage. And it's crazy how alert and stuff these babies are. These babies are going to be another level. It is, I think that the babies that are being born are, more superhuman is what we would think, because they are coming in for this new part. They're not coming in for this part that we're going through. This is the transition. So they're coming for the new part. So they're going to be, it will be simple things. It's not going to be like, oh, Jesus is here. It's going to be, they'll just say things that will get people to understand things. They'll bring a certain energy. And it's going to be an energy of expansion or whatever. But what was I going to say? As it was one of the things with the people and the little babies. And, man, this one is stuck in my head. It was like, it looks so tiny. It was sitting there trying to interact with his dad so much. And, but that is the... oh yeah, because that is the thing, is where people sit there and think like babies are new souls or something. They're babies that need to be taught, and they're not. They are souls, full adult grown souls, and could be higher vibration. They could have a deeper understanding. Like, when you say higher vibration, it's more understanding. It's more open-mindedness. And that automatically leads you into more love. And so this kid that is being birthed into this family can be, more advanced spiritually and they could be coming in to bring that into this family. But And I just think what a difference when people start realizing, like, you have an adult here, you're trying to help them get more equilibrium into the experience, because you're birthed into this like clumsy little jello body, like, well, I'm supposed to do this, and you see them like trying, like, oh, what? And I think so much is about trying to help them to learn their own abilities, to, teach them, help them to learn to grab things and start being able to maneuver in their bodies. Don't treat them like, it's a little baby that doesn't know anything. No, treat it like it's a little adult that is in this experience, like got into this spacesuit and is trying to figure it out, and it's up to you to help them understand this spacesuit so that they can get on their mission and get to work. And everything instead becomes a distraction of dysfunction and chaos and fighting and arguing and trauma and drama and stuff like that, where, I think it's going to go into this other, where people are going to start really having a respect when a baby is born, and to start really giving them the space to begin to identify themselves and, start figuring out their mission, what they're there for, why are they there, who are they there to meet up with, what are they there to accomplish, and stuff. Instead of, I don't know, everything, when I see this stuff, there's so much distortion in how we structure families and how we raise children, and just in the development. And I'm seeing more and more too the testimonies of more of the CPS kids and the rotten bullshit. And ours, the girl that we have in our family, so she was in Oklahoma, and then that turned into total chaos all of a sudden, and they kicked up I don't understand. It seems like the adults are in the hospital, and so it seems like there's like older young adults and then more teenager age young adults, or not young adults, teenager. And so then the teenagers are probably being, idiots, and the young adults have decided to be total assholes, and they made them kick them out and won't give them their stuff. So anyways, we got them tickets to come back. They're supposed to be coming back tomorrow and just head back to Spokane on an airplane. And who knows if they're going to get their stuff or whatever, but no matter what, I told my daughter, this is an adventure. This is something that is teaching her so much. And this is the kind of stuff like you look back on when you're old and you remember, oh yeah, I remember when I was there. Oh my God, what I went through and stuff. Like, it's so much challenges when you're going through something, but it is your story. You're writing your story. The challenges are writing your story. And as you get older and you look back on your story and you thumb through the chapters and the pages and the people that you've met along the way, you want it to have some excitement. You don't want it to just be simple, and you definitely don't want it to just be all around toxicity and control. You want it to be adventure and fun, and watching yourself like go out and with the image that's coming into my head is like pirates on a like Captain Hook, doing a sword fight on a ship. You want there to be those kind of exciting. I'm not saying like a sword fight with somebody on the street. Like, you can go get that all day long nowadays, it seems like. But I'm just saying, like, about you want it to be a book of adventure. You want to have some fun stuff to talk about. That's what makes you interesting, is when you can go tell somebody your crazy stories of the crazy stuff you've done. And, that's what makes it interesting. You're not here to just play it safe and, hide in a room so you don't get sick and nobody can get you and nobody can hurt you. You're out there to have an adventure, and that you got to, it's a hard thing, I think, for people to really understand, is that nobody is murdered. It's contracted. Is not the people just come here and randomly you're just murdered, just out of the blue. Someone took your life. No, that was the way you were always going to go. It is a pre-planned thing. it's written. There's nothing that happens that is ever by accident. And even when you get to like, wow, that's so horrible. Why would someone do that? That's what I'm always saying. Like, the souls write these stories. The souls come in to play these situations out. These aren't, accidents or something that just happened. No, these are all written scripts. They're all a ride that they designed. And it's crazy too, because you can hear some of these stories. Like even that chapter, he was doing one the other day, and he was talking about the girl. She knew ahead of time that guy was going to kill her. And that's the thing. People know, they feel, they know they're walking into a dangerous situation. They know something's about to happen because it's written. It is already written. That was always the way they were going to leave. And the person who killed him, they're probably very, very close, with that person. It's not somebody who you all hate. It's somebody that you have a very close connection to. And, just like I said, even when they started showing, because my thing has been like multi-level in my awakening thing. But the one thing where they started showing me that I was going to be, I don't know, paired up with this person. And I don't know what else to call it. Like, paired up. Like, they've shown me in a lot of different ways. But when they started showing me that situation, and, I was like, it was confusing for sure, because I didn't understand, and they had to keep showing me things and, all that kind of stuff. But what was I going to say? Because it was when they, but that to me is when they started really showing me that thing with the timeline things, because, you could get really obsessed feeling. And it's like, oh, well, I just got to talk to him. And then you can get desperate. And so then if you take that step, okay, well, then you're on that timeline that you chose the desperation. And so now you got to see how that plays out. Well, they showed me how that would play out. I already knew how that would play out. But they show, like, yeah, you'll still have a thing with this person, but it's going to be on this other level. And so I was like, well, that's definitely not what I want to be playing out here. And so, they would show me that kind of stuff. So there isn't, even with the people who, I just think that people think they're being victimized by an enemy. And that people aren't being victimized by enemies. You're playing a role with different people, and you change it up all the time. And it all is dependent on what it is the lesson you're trying to learn. The quicker you catch on and start seeing, then you're like, oh, wait, I already know that. I don't need to learn that. I can see that coming. And you can keep yourself on the timeline that is for your best. It's your optimal. But it's a navigation to keep yourself on the best, because these things can pull you back into like interfering through your state of consciousness of doubt, and they can pull you back into a timeline where you have to go in and learn again. So you have to keep reminding yourself, like, I already know this. I already know in order to keep yourself focused. But it isn't like the stuff I hear people talking about, timelines and stuff, is different than what I hear people talking about. And and their timeline jumping and all of this stuff. I don't know. It is not how I understand. And I don't know, everybody's got to figure out their own understanding. I'm sure not saying everybody needs to understand the things the way I do. All I'm saying is that don't just automatically believe something. Like, really open your mind, because I really, really feel like there's so many of these people out there telling people about this timelines and timeline jumping and stuff, that it's just making people feel like they're doing something wrong. like they've got something bad going on. They don't want this bad thing to be going on. If they sit and think it hard enough, they can just pull themselves out of it and jump timelines. So then if they're not able to do it, they're not obviously good enough spiritually. They're not good enough at the, no, the people who are saying this, I don't think they know what they're talking about. When I don't think that you just come and jump out of a timeline and jump in, I'm going to jump in a year in advance up there where everything is already situated. How you have to go through the stuff. That's the learning part. You don't just jump into the other part. You got to go through it. Your soul is not looking to cheat. Just like how he said, no, there wasn't a competition. Your soul's not looking to cheat. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and jump forward. No, your soul is there to go through the steps, to learn, to advance, to expand. So it's not looking to cheat and jump ahead and, not feel this and not feel that. It knows that going through hard stuff is going to make it stronger, smarter, more compassionate, more caring, more loving. And that's what it's looking for, because that is the higher vibration, where things get more and more beautiful and more peaceful. It is because of all the beings that are at that vibration. That's the energy they bring. It's the energy of the beings create the space. And so, I don't know, hopefully I'm making sense. Because like I said, it's so hard. And that was one thing that guy was saying too, when he was trying to explain about what it was like when he died. And he's not even sure. Like you could get yourself, I mean, when you're getting surgery and stuff, they have you like your soul is not just sitting in there. Like your soul can be going out, because it's in such a reduced state. Your body's so relaxed. So it's like astral projecting. Even if he didn't die, he astral projected. And the projections and stuff are going to be super intense, because they're trying to get us to understand this, there is, things aren't hidden like they used to be. And I do think that there is these other spaces, and I've talked about it before. So, you can go out into the one, that is the one that I feel like is being monitored. It's once you get past that one, it's the monitoring one. There's where the men in black, these other energies or entities that they try and keep us in line. But the ones that like feed off of us, they're in that other one. So they're out past that realm. They're in the other one and so then it is, man, just to be able to see this stuff. Like, and that is what that guy said too, is like, it's so, because you can see it so good, but it's so hard to put into words. And, but I can see it. Like I can see what I'm talking about, but I don't know how to explain it. But hopefully, I've said enough things that it just went into your head, and then you can see it. Because that's what I think. I've said, like, I think telepathy is the thing. And I think that when you're talking to somebody on your vibration, that they are getting something different than other people from your messages. So when you're talking to somebody, like you could be talking to a few people in a room, if one of the persons is on your wavelength and the other people aren't, that person is going to totally understand what you're talking about. They're going to totally get it. The other people could be like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? Because there's something about just the understanding of a wavelength. There is no... So anyways, hopefully I'm saying enough of the stuff to where you can just let the information go into your brain and let your brain show you. So it's not like I can go and explain it to try and give you the visual, but if I can tell you that and then you can accept that, then you accept the information, so your brain can come in and they can show you, they can open up the film inside your head and show you what some of the stuff is. So anyways, I don't know. I'm already been talking a long time. Hopefully, I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. I was like, man, has it even been 20 minutes yet? I don't know. So anyways, stuff is happening. You can keep that in mind. Like, even when it's, and how this stuff just goes so slow, man. And, one thing about Tucker is that he's come out and said a lot of stuff. So I'm not sure if he's about to do some major disclosure. I know that his wife had some interaction with Hunter. So it kind of makes me think, like, at this point, Tucker seems like he's on the good. I'm even thinking maybe Dawn is on the good side. Like, yeah, this is, man, Dawn comes out and he's all like, I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy to see who is on the side of the people and who's on the side of the controllers. And even are the people who are on the side of controllers, I'm going to say a lot of that is out of fear. It's out of necessity. Like, they did it out of safety. Like, they didn't know what else, like their family was at risk or something. Or they just are clueless. Or that they're just that shallow. I mean, that is one thing. It seems like a lot of souls are here to try and really work out or see in themselves, like how easily distracted and shallow people are. Like, it's really yucky. It's really yucky. So anyways, just, I don't know if I made any sense. So I'll just stop now. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later.